Hey! Welcome back to Divine Journey 2. In the previous episode we've done a lot of stuff regarding immersive engineering, and we started producing some energy, and with this we also unlocked this metal press, which allows us to make one-to-one plates, one-to-one rods. In this episode we will continue with immersive engineering. Now the idea for this episode is to get into mechanism and applied energistics, so unlock these two quests, which will unlock this mechanized chapter. I don't think we will get into applied energistics just yet, especially because this requires a lot of materials. So most likely we will get into mechanism first before getting into AE2. And also before entering into this, I think it's going to be a good idea to get into the Twilight Forest and maybe get some quests here already completed. There is a lot of exploration in this modpack, so we really don't need to rush them. And also there is a lot of technology in this modpack, so we really don't need to rush. For now, let's get into immersive engineering. Not only that, we will also get a bit into Tinker's Construct and get better tools, which is something I wanted to do. And finally, we will also get into some diesel production, which is needed to enter into Mechanism and AE2. So basically, diesel is the gate before progressing. So it's something that we need to have set up. So after a lot of crafting, we have here all of the materials for the tools. We won't get into this just yet, we will wait a bit. And here I also have all of the materials that we will need for a squeezer and one arc furnace. Now before using the squeezer for the first time, we actually need a bunch of coke dust. With coke dust we can put it inside an industrial squeezer. Coke dust we can put it inside an industrial squeezer, and we can use it to get HOP graphite dust, which we can smelt it into ingots, which we can use it for graphite electrodes, which is used on the arc furnace. Apart from that, we can also use coke dust together with some iron inside an arc furnace to get 2 steel ingots. The ratio between coke dust and iron in an arc furnace compared to an improved blast furnace is the same. So this will consume one piece of coke coal together with 1 iron ingot in order to get 1 steel. So we are basically doubling our output of steel. So it is something we want. Now we can connect the squeezer into this. Now we have energy, and we only need to input the coke dust. And this will start working. The sear stone, we can output it through this hatch right here, and we can just void it. We really don't need to conserve that. Oh, I need to hold the I need to hold this first. Don't worry, all of these machines we will move them. So all of the machines will go in this platform here. That's the idea. And I'll use this platform for another thing. Now the HOP graphite dust, we can just smelt it in a furnace in order to get the HOP graphite ingot. Now with this we can craft the blueprint, and with the blueprint we can use it to get the graphite electrodes. Now with those electrodes we unlock the big boy, the arc furnace. This is huge. Now because basically we can also craft steel with the arc furnace and it has a better ratio, we can get rid of this blast furnace here. I think we'll install the arc furnace in this space here for now. Again, all of these machines, I'll move them into this platform here, which is bigger, so there's more space. But for now, this is going to be just okay. The big boy, the arc furnace. Look at this monster. I suppose with MB connection will be just fine for now. It doesn't really require that much energy. The big boy is powered. Now the first thing we need to do is grab this and put it right here. This is going to be the output for slag, which is something that we need to clean constantly out of the arc furnace. Then here on the top, it is where we can put the electrodes. Right there. And these two hatches right here are going to be the inputs. So it is supposed that this input here will be for the inputs, for the regular inputs, and to this side the additives. Now I don't know which one is it, which one is which. I suppose this is going to be the additives. This is going to be the regular inputs. Now let's say we would craft steel ingots using the arc furnace. We need pulverized iron as an input, and I suppose this coke dust will be the additive. So we can put the iron here and then the additives. Or maybe not. Maybe the iron goes here and then the coke dust here. So this melts. Oh, there is it. And we are getting steel. And of course we can distribute it so it goes quicker. But yeah, we have double outputs for steel. So more efficient and overall better. Now apart from that, we can also do some alloying inside the arc furnace. So for example, we can get electrum using gold and silver. So we really don't need to use the smeltery anymore, maybe. We'll still have this one here, but we can now use this for alloying as well. Bronze can also be made on the arc furnace. Magnesium, which is also a Tinker's Construct alloy, we can also do it on the arc furnace. So basically this one can replace a lot of uses that we were using the smeltery for. However, another thing I wanted to use the arc furnace for is for some solarium, which is going to take a bit of time. But with this we should get the solarium. And I wanted the solarium in order to make the bowstring thing, but I can't do it. Okay, it's inside here. So the solarium, we can cast it into a bowstring. And with this we should have all of the materials I wanted for all of our equipment. So we can start assembling some of these. Now just a small disclaimer, I'm not really proficient in Tinker's Construct, so most likely all of these tools are not the best possible. Or at least not the best at this point in the game. So yeah, have that in mind. So let's start with the hammer. For the hammer, I'm using 1 cobalt large plate, 1 cobalt hammer, 1 prosperity shard large plate, and 1 alumite toll root. This will give us 4 modifiers, a mining speed of 2.76, and 1357 of durability. I also want another pickaxe, which will have an alumite tool rod, a prosperity shard binding, and a cobalt pickaxe head, which will give us 4 modifiers, a mining speed of 9, and 713 durability. For an excavator, I want a prosperity shard, a tough binding, an alumite tough tool rod, a cobalt large plate, and a cobalt head. This will give us also 4 modifiers, 2.5 of mining speed, and around 1200 durability. For a broad adze, which is a lumber adze, I want a cobalt adze head, a cobalt large plate, an alumite rod, and a prosperity shard binding, which will give us also 4 modifiers, 3.15 of mining speed, and around 1400 durability. When it comes to weapons, I want a cleaver. For this we want a bone tool rod, a manilium, how do you pronounce this? Manilin rod, a manilin large sword plate, and a prosperity shard large plate. This will give us 4 modifiers, 11.5 of attack, and 866 durability. For the ranged, I want a crossbow. For this we will use a salt bowstring, a bone tool rod, a cobalt binding, and a manilium bow limb. This will give us 4 modifiers, 7.4 of attack, a bonus damage of 6, a range multiplier of 1.2, a draw speed of 3.15, and a durability of 649. For the ammunition for the crossbow, on the shaft, which is a bone shaft, we want to cast some manilium into it, which will give us a bone manilium bolt core. This one, together with a regular feather fletching, we can get a manilium bolt, which will have 3 modifiers, an accuracy of 100%, an attack damage of 7.54, and 48 of ammo. Now for the modifiers, I wanted to keep it very simple. So the hammer will get a silky jowl, will get an emerald, and will get 50 redstone. This will get a bonus speed, will get silk touch, and will raise the durability up to 2035. The pickaxe, we want the exact same. For this, it will raise the mining speed up to 12.5, and will raise the durability up to 1069. The excavator, the exact same thing. The lumber adze, the exact same thing. We want silky in all of our tools. Now in all of this we actually have one more extra modifier, which will put more redstone into the hammer, more redstone into the pickaxe, more redstone into the excavator, and in case of the lumber adze, I think I'll just leave it like that. I am running out of redstone. And this is quite important for crafting stuff. Now why I haven't used mending moss? There is a thing with mending moss, and it uses experience in order to repair the tool, just like regular mending on the modern versions of Minecraft. The thing is that because this one has Sick Touch, it won't recollect experience, because if we were to mine something with Sick Touch, we get the block itself and we don't get any experience out from it. So at the end it won't repair. Quite a shame, but the good thing is it is cobalt, so it is quite easy to repair as well. That's why I only focus on getting a lot of haste and a lot of durability. We could also use reinforcements. This will act like an unbreaking enchantment, but I don't think it is quite necessary with all of these tools. I think it's going to be best with just adding more haste. However, in the case of our weapons, for the cleaver, we will be adding mending moss, we will add lapis, and we will also add nether quartz. With this, our attack damage from 11.56, it raises up to 14.37, and we also add some looting into it. In the case of the crossbow, we will also get a mending moss, a diamond, we'll also add nether quartz and redstone. Now of course I want to add more redstone, but this is my last redstone, so yeah, I'll have to wait. This will raise the attack from 7.43 to 10.21, and the draw speed from 3.15 to 2.97, and this will be even reduced even further whenever I finish with the rest of the redstone. And finally the bolt will get some mending moss, we'll get a diamond, and we'll get nether quartz as well. But again, I'm out of nether quartz, so I'll have to come back to this. I'm out of all of my ingredients. But now we should be ready to test all of this. Now we also wanted some necrotic bones from the nether. I only got one, but we can also craft it. So we can have 2 necrotic bones. The first one we will give it to the clever. So now we have life steal. And the second one we can give it to the bolt. No. Or maybe to none. We only give necrotic bone to the clever. And with all of this, I think we are good to go for quite a long time. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Maybe just next episode we need to upgrade our tools again. I don't think so. I hope not. I hope this is going to last us for quite a good while. So let's start with some biodiesel. Now before even thinking of doing biodiesel, we need to choose which plant that we are going to grow in order to make both ethanol and seed oil. So seed oil basically comes from any seed. There are a bunch of seeds we can use. Hemp, for example, it gives 120 millibuckets per each seed. And in the case of regular wheat seeds, it will give 80 millibuckets per each seed. In the case of ethanol, if we were to use sugarcane, we would get 80 millibuckets of ethanol. If we were to use wheat, we would get 80 millibuckets. And if we were to use something like this enchanted berry, we will get 300 millibuckets of ethanol. Now I'm not really going to stress myself too much. We are going to be using wet because this will give the wet itself and wet seeds. And both we can use the seeds for seed oil and the wet for ethanol. So to avoid complicating stuff around here, we are going to do the simple thing. Now because we want to have biodiesel on passive for both energy and mechanism and applied energistic components, we are going to use a basic recollection system using minecarts. But before throwing the minecart, we do have to plant all of the seeds so they can start growing. We are using this aqueous soil as this automatically harvests plants whenever they reach maturity. This is quite nice. Now in the future, whenever we unlock the farmer, we will be changing this soil into another one. Maybe we can change it to the Gaelic soil or to the Terran soil. But yeah, that's a decision for the future. For now, in order to make all of this farm passive, the aqueous soil is going to be our best option. Now we can test the minecart. If we put it here, this should go inside. Do one full round, and then come back. Yes, and then go back if it doesn't deposit any item. If it were to have an item, for example, let's throw some aqueous soil here. The minecart will grab it and will deposit it into this hopper here. And whenever it empties, then it will just continue its journey. Now we only need to leave all of this growing. Whenever this reaches maturity, it will harvest, and then the minecart will recollect it and will deposit it into this hopper. There is a comparator, so whenever there is one item in this hopper, this comparator will be active. There is a torch down here, which will turn off, thus turning off this repeater, which will make this minecart to stay in this position until its inventory is empty. Whenever it is empty, it should continue. It should. So yeah, very simple. And of course we are storing them in drawers, so we can have a buffer for them. There is a controller down here below this frame trim, so it makes this a system of drawers. So if we were to put a seed here, well, 2 seeds, you can see it is get eaten by a controller here and deposited into this drawer. Now before building the refinery itself, I want to unlock the quest. So first we need to get some ethanol and some seed oil. Well, in this case, plant oil. So for now, I think we can do something like this. Hopefully this is enough length. Yes, it is. So we can connect one cable here and the other one can go here. So we can start by doing some seed oil. This will squeeze all of these seeds into oil, well, plant oil, 8 at a time. And with this we should get our first bucket of seed oil, like here. Yes, plant oil. Now here we can do almost the same. We can put some wet. This will ferment it. And we should be getting some ethanol. And this is the refinery. Now again, we have to also give power to this. And we can input the plant oil and the ethanol. And we should be getting biodiesel. Nice. Biodiesel. We are going to leave it there for now. Or no, we are going to get it. We are going to get it. So biodiesel. Too few fuel fumes. Of course, with biodiesel, we can already enter into mechanism. And we can do two things. We can build our first diesel generator. And whenever we get some radiator blocks, we will also be able to get into excavators, which is going to be our next objective for this episode. But for now, let's connect this. I hope that Fluidux will work with this. It does work, and we don't need a servo. That is very nice. I don't want you to connect there. Thank you. You can go there. And we are getting more biodiesel. Nice. In the case to input items into both the squeezer and the fermenter, because we don't have item docks unlocked yet, we are going to be using just conveyor belts. We are going to use these extracting conveyor belts in the drawers, so this will extract the items inside these drawers and will go directly into both the fermenter and the refinery. Sorry, the fermenter and the squeezer. And then the products will go to the refinery. Now, in order for all of this to work, we only really need to wait for all of this to grow. As you can see, there is one piece of wet there, which is going to be retrieved by the minecart with hopper. Hopefully, there is it. And now we should deactivate, and we should have the wet right there, as well the seeds. This works. So we should be able just to output it like that. It will go into the fermenter and we create more ethanol, and the seeds should be extracted and will go directly into the squeezer, getting us more plant oil. And both liquids will be inserted into the refinery in order to get us more biodiesel. So yes, this is working perfectly. This is not the best setup up to now. First of all, this is not going to produce enough wet in order to sustain all of this producing constantly. We need to be producing more wet. For that, it's going to be better to have the farmer and another soil. And then I think there is a better ratio between fermenters and squeezers to refineries, and then all of that to diesel generators. So yeah, for now, this is going to be enough to start with mechanism and applied energistics. I don't think we will get the diesel generator right now. But of course, we will also need to automate all of this and do this fully passively and also fully sustainable, because I don't think we will have another source of energy until we get into extra utilities too, I think. Yeah, just in chapter 13, we will get into more generators with RF tools. Or no, extra utilities, I think this is the mod, extra utilities. So yes, we are going to be living on biodiesel for a very long time. So it is a very good idea to passive all of this. But for now, with this, we can enter into mechanism. So this is me after editing. After doing biodiesel, I've done another thing, and that is energy generation. And I've decided to do it through the lighting rods. Now, I've already recorded all of this, but I thought it was very disorganized. So we will start over again. Now, there is another way of producing energy, and it's the most, I suppose it will be the most common one, and it is through biodiesel. As you can see, we're producing a bunch of biodiesel, but this setup is not enough to keep one diesel generator running constantly. It is not enough to keep these refineries and fermenters and the squeezers running constantly, and thus getting enough biodiesel to sustain one diesel generator. So for now we will be using lightning rods, and I would love to use lightning rods until we get into the extra utilities generators, because we should be able to do something interesting with these boys. Now we have two lightning rods. I'm only using one now because I need a lot of steel, which I don't have. The way this works is that there is a chance you can generate one lightning that will strike the steel fences and will give us 16 million IF, so engineering flutes, which is the energy for immersive engineering. Now that chance will only happen if it is raining or if it is a thunderstorm, and we will have even bigger chances if it is a thunderstorm compared to raining. Another thing is that this lighting system is different from Minecraft Vanilla. So yes, everything is just chances to have a lightning strike into the steel fences, and only if it is raining. So at first sight, this might not be something very reliable. However, it wouldn't be reliable if we didn't have any way of actually like invoking a rain or thunderstorm. But there are a couple of ways we can do that. The first one is through totemic. There is the rain dance ceremony, which will invoke a torrent of rain into the world. This ceremony though is something that we have to do manually, using the totem base, using a drum and a rattle. So yes, we cannot automatize this. However, in Roots, we also have the heavy storms ritual, which will invoke rain, basically, just the same as the totemic. However, this one we can automatize this using the pyre. So we can input the items needed for the storms, and then you right-click with a flint and steel in order to start the ritual and invoke a rain. So yes, this one we can automatize it. This one we cannot. I haven't tested enough if this is a source for the rain that we need for this to work. I've already tested with the roots, the totemic one, and this works. So there is a high chance that the roots ritual will also work. I don't know what exactly the lightning rod looks for whenever it wants to generate a lightning. So I don't know if what it checks is for if weather is raining or if there is rain in the steel fences. So either way, we can kind of change the weather in order to generate energy whenever we need it. But again, this is a chance of generating energy. It's not something that will generate energy if it is raining. It is a chance. However, the way we can make chances even higher is by first having the steel fence pole as large as possible, and then having this net of steel fences again as big as possible. So yeah, it is kind of a twofold check in order to generate energy. So the larger and higher we have the steel fences, the more chances we will have to produce energy. That's why this eats through a lot of steel. However, we don't need kind of complicated systems and min-maxing the biodiesel generator in order to fit enough diesel generators to continuously produce energy. So yes, quite something that I might be interested in investing, especially if we can use the roots rituals in order to turn on or off the weather. So for example, what we can do is whenever we have a better way of storing energy, we can read the energy capacity through the comparator, and then whenever it reaches, for example, I don't know, we have only 2 million RF in our energy capacitors, we can turn on the ritual so this one can produce more energy or have a chance of producing energy until we hit, I don't know, for example, the maximum cap. And whenever this reaches the maximum cap, then it won't generate any more rain. So that's basically the idea. However, we are going to be doing this manually for now, as we really don't have much still. And I still need to test the roots ritual, if this actually works or not. So yeah. However, the totemic ritual works, so yes, we can generate energy. And actually these capacitors, they are kind of full. So yes, I've already tested this and it works. And it is marvelous. It is really nice. So yeah, we are going to be using lightning rods instead of diesel in order to produce energy. But yeah, that's going to be everything for this episode. Before finishing with the episode, let's do something that we are going to be doing in the next episode, or rather that we will need in the next episode. Now I also wanted to get the excavator. We will start the next episode with this one, but now there are two options. So we can either start with the Twilight Forest. This needs the Twilight Rock, which we should be able to craft this, or we can enter into Mechanism and Applied Energy Sticks. What we will do, I don't know. But yeah, next episode we will start with the excavator, so we can start processing some more ores that I am missing. I need a lot of iron. So most likely we will get into some exploration. So because the biodiesel, we are not going to be using it for energy, what we can do is, together with some biodiesel in a tank and some osmium, we can craft a bunch of energized osmium into Mechanism. Finally the same, but in this case with some Certus quartz, we can get energized Certus quartz crystals, which is going to be the key for Applied Energy Sticks. So yeah, basically we are ready to start with the next chapter, Mechanized, as well as to get into the Nether. But with that said, this is the end of the episode. Between episodes I'll just keep building these two lightning rods, make them higher and a bit bigger, and then we will start with the next episode. So as always, if you're still here, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a better day, because it can always be better. And I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.